4-year-old daughter. She's very sweet. She loves music. Those are definitely her favorite toys. We spend a lot of time every day really playing the pianos or the drum, things like that.
Makes us feel very good is that we see her always working hard, and we see that those improvements. It makes us feel good too, and you can tell she's very proud of those accomplishments. I think that we knew something was a little bit different with Haley probably about 2 to 3 months in. I noticed that she wasn't really tracking, and so that was my my concern. But being a parent for the first time, a lot of people thought we were being a little bit too critical. We knew that she wasn't developing as what they quote a normal kid would do. She wasn't on that trajectory, so I think we started questioning a lot about how we as parents were doing, since it was our first child, and so I think that was a bit rough.
And it was through that exome testing that we discovered the mutation in NR2F1 and that Haley's diagnosis would be BBSOAS. Some of the most common characteristics of BBSOAS include definitely some sort of visual impairment. With many of the children, it's CVI or cortical visual impairment, but I think there's a broad range kind of within the spectrum as far as vision.
I think vision was one of the things that we first knew that Haley's vision wasn't quite there. You could tell not only from tracking, but just the way she was interacting with toys, and the ophthalmologist confirmed that her vision wasn't great, and so I think we thought a lot of the developmental delays were related to vision, because vision does, kids see something and that motivates them to try to crawl towards it, and so with Haley's case, if she wasn't seeing something, maybe then she wasn't motivated to crawl, so maybe that's why she wasn't crawling yet.
For a lot of the children, there's a global developmental delay, more long-term, some level of intellectual disability. A lot of the children have low muscle tone. Some have swallowing issues, and then a lot of the children have the behaviors typical of autism and really benefit from some of the therapies focused on that group. I think one of the most interesting things is that a lot of these children don't produce tears.
I think as a parent, when you don't know what's going on with your child, you feel helpless, and you also feel, like I mentioned before, that you kind of blame yourself. The diagnosis for me, I think, was partially a relief, just because now we knew what condition, we were able to find a community, whereas before, I think, at least me personally, I felt really kind of like I was alone.
And that's a hard journey for parents, I think, because first of all, you have to be ready for a diagnosis. And personally, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't get a diagnosis at first. I think with hindsight, that was a mistake. We've gained so much. We've gained a community, great resources to help Haley today, and I think as she continues through this journey. And then we've also gained hope.
Is that funny?
We know there's some children that are very high functioning, bilingual. So.
And there's research happening that makes us think things could change in Haley's lifetime. There may be a cure.
Yeah.
I hope you are already experiencing this. What Hannah Hanner said a few years ago, for another rare genetic disorder that we discovered. She said that she has been feeling alone and isolated for a long time, and finally she feels like she has found her tribe. She has found people who know what she feels and what she's been going through for many years, and she feels like she has found a new place where she belongs. Alone there's only so little that we can achieve, but together we can achieve so much more. And we have experienced this from the very first minute. Daniela and I, we had our individual cases with NR2F1 mutations, but by teaming up and working together, we have been able to, put together a meaningful story and to publish, and then we have continued to move on and to collaborate and to work with each other, which is so much better than competing against each other.
Childhood goes so fast, you have to enjoy every moment, and our experience has been more that they're not milestones, but inchstones. And so we do tons of cheering for every small step forward in development. As a parent, you don't anticipate that you're going to end up also being a physical therapist and an occupational therapist and a speech therapist. And that's definitely a big part of where we have to support Haley on a daily basis. So because all of the steps come a little bit slower for her, I think that it's going to take longer for her to get to skills like feeding herself independently and dressing herself independently. And it takes a lot of hard work to get there.
And I think for me, one of the hardest things is that Haley doesn't like to look you in the face. And as a parent, you kind of think that your baby's going to be looking in your face and making eye contact and smiling. And that's one thing too, is even as a baby, Haley didn't do a lot of smiling.
But the smiles have definitely come. They took longer, but they're so
BBSOAS.
precious to us now.
But with BBSOAS, most of the children continue to move forward and develop. So we do enjoy those inchstones or milestones. It's just that they happen a little bit slower. When you see your child, start to crawl for the first time and things like that, it makes it all worth the work that you're doing to help them out or find a cure. So as they keep working hard, you want to keep working hard. So I think that's a lot of our motivation.